So just over a week ago, I released a video entitled Ultra Vegito is punished by the gods for Beerus' death. It gained over 500,000 views, the talk of the Dragon Ball fandom right now, and if you haven't seen it yet, you can just click on my channel and find it through this thumbnail. Now the problem is, after posting the video, it soon became apparent there is a huge gap in the knowledge of some of the fans watching and a confusion over what is actually canon and true in Dragon Ball and what isn't. So if you are a fan of both the canon real story of Dragon Ball and my fan-made creations alike, watch this video till the very end to see me show factually and through actual canon material what really happens when a God of Destruction dies and what happens to an angel too, as well as sneak peeks at the upcoming sequel which you do not want to miss. But before we continue, today's video is sponsored by Raid: Shadow Legends, a free-to-play mobile and desktop game featuring some of the toughest bosses ever. And the latest boss release is the biggest and craziest yet, a bona fide Hydra with 6 different heads, each one being a complete boss battle on its own. My favourites being the Head of Suffering, which uses its special effect known as Pain Link that makes any damage you deal to it also be shared with you, or the Head of Torment, using its True Fear ability to drag down your team, making you lose turns and even lose access to your own skills, rendering you more useless than Krillin. My favourite part of Raid has always been the sheer variety of champions, with Raid giving away esports legends and Na'vi superstar Simple's champion to every player in game who's logged in for 7 days between now and January 28th. Now has never been a better time to get started. And if you use my link in the description or scan my QR code, you'll get a free starter pack worth almost $30 to kickstart your game. We're talking a free champion named Vergis, 200k silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard, so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in game. I'll see you there. So let's begin with what happened straight after Ultra Vegito accidentally killed Beerus. In my story, Ultra Vegito is immediately punished, first confronted by the remaining 11 gods of destruction, and then imprisoned by Zeno and the destruction, or Zeno would care. Now the problem here is, what stories are they talking about? Because when we look at the actual Dragon Ball Super anime or manga, Destruction has been killed and then the killer replaces them. It's literally never been mentioned at all, and a simple scour of Google will show you there is nothing that ever suggested that or showed that. The stories people are referring to are ironically other fan mangas, like for example Dragon Ball Kakume, which is just another fan creation drawn by artists like myself. So in essence, fans are now using other fan manga to somehow dispute other fan manga. You can see the problem with that. People then also like to reference Goku Black, saying, well, he killed all of the gods of destruction, so why didn't any of the gods of destruction turn up there? Well, 2 things. Goku Black did not specifically kill the gods of destruction. He actually explained this in the canon manga. He killed the Supreme Kais, which in turn killed the gods of destruction. As you should know, the two are linked. Second of all, in my story, when a god of destruction is killed, the gods of destruction all turned up, because in my fan manga, I wrote that they too were linked on some level and would be able to sense when one of their own was disposed of. A dramatic twist added by me to create a powerful story, but one that doesn't actually detract from the actual canonical story, because we have yet to see a god of destruction be murdered in Dragon Ball Super. Adding to this, a lot of viewers, I'm going to guess younger viewers, or those who don't actually understand character relationships just yet, think because Beerus was one of the most hated of the gods of destruction for some earlier event that annoyed Zeno, or Champa's brotherly rivalry with him, that the gods would actually be happy if he died. These are the same kind of fans who would also probably think Vegeta at this point, because of his rivalry with Goku and his coldness towards him, would also be happy if Goku died. But us real fans of the show and experienced watchers of anime will know by now, rivalry and petty anger is just a common anime trope, and when things get already in the canon manga and anime too. And finally, after Vegito destroyed Beerus, Whis was watching and many people comment, why didn't Whis just reverse time? Again, there are two things straight from canon. First of all is that again in the Goku Black saga, after it is revealed Goku Black had got rid of the gods, Whis himself in the anime and manga reveals once a god of destruction dies, the angel who attends that god of destruction becomes inactive until a new god is chosen, meaning on Beerus' death, he was instantly relieved of his duty and rendered inactive via angel laws. The second bit of canon is that the last time we saw Whis reverse time was against Frieza, and specifically after he told everyone once he used it, he won't be able to use it again for a while. What that a while means was never elaborated on. But judging by the fact Whis has lived for potentially millennia, and Beerus' naps are not just an hour or two, but instead last decades to hundreds of years, we can be sure Whis' a while could very well mean it's possible he will not be using it for years to come, which is why we haven't seen it since. Being able to know canon information like this and contextualize it will be key to understanding the stories written by fan manga artists, since you can appreciate if we're dedicating our lives to painstakingly draw and tell these stories, then best believe we know the canon material it's based on like the back of our hands. But moving on from that, I did mention some sneak peeks of the upcoming sequel, and here it is. Basically the story will catch up 10 whole years later. Ultra Vegito is a changed man after this great injustice. He's weak, he's quiet, and there is anger. If you're wondering why he's still fused, it will be explained in the story, and of course, through a very shocking means, he will break out. But once he finds out what has happened in the 10 years since he's been away, an uncontrollable rage and thirst for revenge will be born in the most powerful Saiyan in the multiverse.